Make yourself consistent. Jim Rohn's motivational speech, Stoicism. The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. Marcus Aurelius. Welcome to Stoic in Your Life. Today, we're diving into something that could transform your entire approach to success. It's not about luck or waiting for the perfect moment. It's not about being born with special talents. The one thing that will truly determine your success is something within your control: consistency. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't comes down to this simple truth: consistency. It's the ability to show up day after day, even when things aren't going your way, even when you don't feel like it. Today, let's explore how consistency, fueled by Stoic principles, is the key to reaching your goals and staying in the game until you get there. Stay with me. What I'm about to share could change everything. 1. The power of consistency. The journey toward success often begins with a burst of excitement. You're inspired, filled with hope and a sense of purpose, eager to take on the challenge ahead. But as time passes, the energy fades and the road gets tougher. Obstacles arise and self-doubt creeps in. How many times have you started something, an idea, a project, a goal, only to abandon it when the reality didn't match your expectations? It's easy to begin, but it's much harder to keep going when things don't unfold the way you imagined. The truth is, most people give up right before they reach the point where success is just within their grasp. In this way, many dreams die not because of a lack of ability, but because of a lack of perseverance. Quitting may seem like an easy escape, but it's a trap that keeps you stuck in a cycle of what could have been. As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." The key to breaking this cycle is understanding the power of consistency. When you commit to being consistent, you're not relying on fleeting motivation or temporary inspiration. Motivation is like a spark. It ignites with passion and excitement, but it fades quickly, often leaving you in the dark when you need it the most. It's easy to feel driven at the start, but when you're tired, when pressure mounts, or when the excitement wanes, it's consistency that will keep you going. Success isn't built on bursts of energy, but on the daily grind, the habit of showing up even when you don't feel like it. You can't wait for the perfect moment or the ideal conditions to arrive. They never will. The true measure of success is the ability to keep going when others quit. As the Stoic philosopher Seneca wisely put it, luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. Consistency is what prepares you for the opportunities that others miss because they don't stay in the game long enough to recognize them. The difference between those who achieve their dreams and those who don't is simple. It's the habit of consistency. While motivation can spark the desire to start, it's consistency that fuels the drive to finish. Every successful person you admire didn't just rely on talent or inspiration. They developed the habit of showing up day after day regardless of how they felt. They pushed through the difficult times, not because it was easy, but because they had made it part of their identity. They didn't need to be inspired. They were consistent. And this is where many people go wrong. They assume that success will come when the conditions are perfect, when they feel fully motivated, or when everything aligns just right. But the truth is that success is built on the small, consistent actions you take every single day. It's the daily effort, even when it's uncomfortable, that brings results. If you only worked when you felt inspired, how many days would you actually work? How many goals would you abandon before they even had a chance to grow? Without consistency, nothing meaningful ever gets built. The truth is, you'll waste time starting and stopping, wondering why nothing ever seems to change. But when you make consistency a part of your daily life, you don't just change your habits, you change your identity. You become the person who doesn't quit, the person who pushes through the challenges, no matter how tough the road gets, the person who shows up even when they don't feel like it. As the great Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius said, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." The obstacles you face are not roadblocks. They are the very means by which you become stronger and more resilient. Consistency isn't glamorous. It's not the shiny, exciting part of the journey. It doesn't come with applause or recognition, but it's the quiet force that drives success. It's the repetition of small actions over time that build something greater than any single burst of motivation ever could. Every step you take, no matter how small, compounds over time. You may not see immediate results, but trust that each effort is adding up. When you consistently do the work, no matter how tough it is, you'll eventually look back and realize how far you've come. It's like laying bricks for a wall. You may not see the finished structure with one brick, but each brick contributes to the whole. Eventually, you've built something strong and lasting, something that stands the test of time. So stop waiting for the perfect time to start. There is no right moment to begin your journey. The only time is now. Make consistency your daily habit and show up even when it's hard. The world will test you and life will try to knock you down. But if you keep showing up, you will see results. You'll build the momentum needed to reach your goals and you'll start to believe in yourself. The more you practice consistency, the more you'll become someone who follows through, someone who doesn't give up. You'll become the person who succeeds not because of talent or luck, but because you refuse to quit. This is the power of consistency. It's the foundation of all achievement. The Stoics knew this well. The greatest wealth is to live content with little, said Plato. When you live consistently, you cultivate the wealth of discipline and perseverance, which leads to the wealth of success. When you commit to consistency, you're not just making a promise to yourself to show up each day. You're committing to change. You're creating a new identity, one that's built on habits of excellence. It's not the spectacular moments of inspiration that define your success. It's the quiet, steady steps you take toward your goal each day. And with time, you will realize that the power of consistency is the key to unlocking everything you've ever dreamed of. 2. Motivation versus discipline. How many times have you felt that rush of excitement when you start something new, only to find that by the end of the day, your energy has drained, and that initial spark of motivation is nowhere to be found? It's a familiar feeling, isn't it? You wake up full of ambition, determined to take on the world, but by midday, you're already distracted or too tired to push forward. Motivation often feels like a friend at the start of a journey. It lifts you up, makes you believe that anything is possible. But here's the truth. Motivation is like a quick burst of adrenaline. It's powerful in the moment, but it fades away just as quickly as it came. If you rely on motivation to carry you through, you're setting yourself up for failure. Motivation alone won't get you to your destination. You'll start countless projects, but you'll quit when the excitement wears off. The problem with motivation is that it's an emotion. It's dependent on how you feel in the moment. One day you're excited to work, and the next, you're wondering why you even bothered. The truth is, motivation is unreliable. It's a short-term fix, not a long-term strategy. But there's something far more powerful that will help you push through when motivation fades away, and that's discipline. Discipline is the muscle that gets stronger the more you use it. It doesn't care how you feel. It doesn't care if you're tired or stressed out. Discipline shows up every day, no matter what. It says, I don't care what obstacles stand in my way. I've made a commitment, and I'm going to follow through. Think about it. Motivation might give you the energy to get started, but it's discipline that keeps you going when things get tough. You don't need to rely on your feelings to take action. Discipline is about making a decision and sticking to it. When motivation dips, discipline steps in to push you forward. It's the key to long-term success, and it's what separates those who reach their goals from those who don't. Let's take a moment to think about this. Have you ever tried to lose weight or get in better shape? Maybe you've started a fitness routine, feeling energized and ready to tackle the challenge. But then, a few days in, life gets busy, you miss a workout, and it's easy to let things slide. Motivation is what got you to the gym that first day. But when things got hard, When you didn't feel like showing up, what kept you going? The answer is discipline. It's the commitment to show up every day, even when you'd rather do anything else. It's pushing through the discomfort, the fatigue, and the distractions to stay on track. It's the same with any goal in life, whether it's finishing a project at work, writing that book, or learning a new skill. Motivation is helpful at the start, but it's discipline that will carry you through when the journey gets long and the challenges seem insurmountable. So, how can you make discipline your habit? The first step is simple. Stop relying on motivation. Understand that motivation is fleeting and it's not going to be there every day. Instead, make a plan and stick to it, regardless of how you feel. It's about building the muscle of consistency, doing what you said you would do, even when you don't feel like it. It's easy to start something when you're excited, but the true test comes when you reach the tough spots. That's when discipline kicks in and says, I'm not going to stop just because it's hard. Over time, as you make discipline your habit, you'll start to see how powerful it truly is. You'll stop being a slave to your feelings and start becoming someone who gets things done, no matter the circumstances. You need discipline to move forward, to get to the finish line. As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus wisely said, no man is free who is not master of himself. Discipline is the ultimate tool for mastering your own life. It's what pushes you to do the hard things, even when you don't feel like it. When everything else fails, when motivation is nowhere to be found, discipline is what will keep you going. It's what turns your dreams into reality, one small step at a time. Think about the successful people you admire. They didn't get to where they are because they were always motivated. They got there because they stayed disciplined, even when it wasn't glamorous, even when it was tough. The real power of success comes from sticking to your plan, day in and day out, no matter what. And when you embrace this mindset, you'll realize that the results you're looking for will come from the consistent effort you put in. Discipline is the secret weapon that will make you unstoppable. It will transform you from someone who starts things and quits to someone who follows through and achieves their goals. When you develop discipline, you'll see that it's not just about completing tasks, it's about building a life that's aligned with your values, your vision, and your ultimate potential. 3. Overcoming excuses. Let me be clear with you. Excuses are your greatest enemy. Every time you allow an excuse to slip into your mind, you're only building a wall between you and your dreams. You might tell yourself, I'm too tired, I don't have enough time, or I'll do it tomorrow. At first, those excuses might feel harmless, but in truth, they are the very things keeping you stuck. Every time you fall for them, you're reinforcing a pattern that stops you from improving, from moving forward, and from achieving anything meaningful. So ask yourself, how many times have you let excuses take the driver's seat in your life, only to look back later and wonder why you didn't take action when you had the chance? It's time to get real. If you want to achieve anything significant in life, you have to eliminate excuses from your vocabulary. Because make no mistake, excuses are nothing but a trap. They may sound convincing at first, they may soothe your mind when you're tempted to avoid the hard work, but in reality, they are lies that you tell yourself to justify your inaction. They are the easy way out, but they lead nowhere. They are a direct path to mediocrity. The truth you must face is simple. You have what you need to succeed. You have time, you have energy, and you absolutely have the ability. The only thing holding you back is your willingness to let excuses control you. You let them define your actions, your mindset, and ultimately your future. It's time to wake up to the fact that every time you say, I'll do it tomorrow, you're actually stealing from your future. You're letting the present slip away, one excuse at a time. The reality is that you have the same 24 hours in a day as anyone else, whether it's the world's most successful person or the average person. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't? Successful people don't waste their time on excuses. They don't sit around hoping for the perfect moment. They create it. They take action, no matter what. They find ways to get things done, even when their energy is low, even when they feel overwhelmed, even when distractions tempt them to quit. This isn't just a motivational speech. It's a hard truth. Excuses will trap you in a cycle of inaction. If you want something in life, whether it's a successful career, a strong relationship, or personal growth, you need to take responsibility. You have to make the time for it. You have to push through the tiredness, the doubts, the distractions. You cannot wait for the perfect moment, because it will never come. The only moment that matters is right now. Stop telling yourself stories. Stop believing that tomorrow will be better, or that somehow you'll find more time or energy later. Time waits for no one, and your future is shaped by what you do today. If you keep pushing your goals aside, you will keep wasting precious time. Time that you'll never get back. How long are you willing to let excuses control your life? Are you ready to take full responsibility for your actions, no matter how hard they may be? The Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." And mastering yourself means learning to let go of the excuses. Mastering yourself means choosing to show up, even when it's uncomfortable, even when it's hard. It means deciding that you will not allow external circumstances or internal doubts to dictate what you can and can't do. And success isn't about having more time, more resources, or more talent. It's about using what you have with unwavering consistency and discipline. And that means making excuses a thing of the past. If you want to succeed, you need to break free from the chains of excuses. You need to stop making the same old justifications that hold you back. You have to stop wishing and start doing. Every excuse you make is just one more reason why you won't succeed. And every excuse you break free from is one more step closer to becoming the person you've always wanted to be. Today, how many times have you used excuses to put off something important? Maybe you've been meaning to start a new project, get healthier, or learn a new skill. But every time you sit down to begin, you find an excuse not to. And over time, those excuses pile up, turning into a mountain of missed opportunities. It's easy to think that you're justified in waiting. After all, everyone has reasons for why they haven't done something. But here's the cold truth. If you keep making excuses, you will never change. You will never grow. You'll just stay in the same place, wishing for something better while continuing to settle for less than what you're capable of. The key to overcoming excuses is action. Every single time you choose to act instead of making an excuse, you break free from the habit of inaction. You build momentum. The more you choose action over excuses, the more it becomes your default. You stop letting fear, tiredness, or uncertainty control you. You become the person who doesn't make excuses anymore. And when that happens, you start seeing results. You start achieving the things you once thought were out of reach. You start to believe in yourself because you've proven, time and time again, that you are someone who shows up and does the work. I want to ask you now, what will happen if you continue to make excuses? What will your life look like if you keep putting off the things that matter? Will you end up where you want to be? Or will you look back years from now with regret, wondering why you never took the first step? I know you have the ability to break free from this cycle. I know you have what it takes to create the life you want. But it starts with eliminating excuses. Stop making them, stop believing them, and start taking responsibility for your actions today. Don't wait for tomorrow. Don't wait for the right moment. That moment is now. As Jim Rohn famously said, you don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. The most important thing you can do right now is stop making excuses and take that first step. Every small action counts, and over time it adds up to something powerful. Excuses are the chains that hold you back. Break them and you will begin to unlock the door to your potential. Start today and never look back. Your future is in your hands, and you have everything you need to make it great. 4. Habits build identity. Every small action you take each day, whether you realize it or not, is shaping the life you're creating for yourself. What you do, day in and day out, becomes the person you are and the future you will live. You may not always notice it, but these daily habits are not just routine. They're building your future step by step, whether they are positive or negative. If you spend hours in front of the TV, neglect your health by skipping workouts, or keep putting things off until tomorrow, what kind of person are you becoming? You're shaping yourself into someone who procrastinates, someone who doesn't value their time or their health, and someone who accepts mediocrity as the status quo. It's easy to dismiss these actions as trivial or harmless, but they are the very things that will lead you away from your goals, not toward them. The philosopher Epictetus once said, "First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do." This simple yet powerful advice highlights the deep connection between who we are and what we consistently do. If your habits are guiding you away from the life you want, then it's time to make a change. Because your habits are the foundation upon which your success or failure is built. The great news is that if you're not happy with where your habits are taking you, you have the power to change them. You have the power to start building habits that align with the person you want to become. But here's the catch. Those changes don't happen overnight. You don't wake up successful, healthy, or wealthy simply by wishing for it or hoping for a miracle. Success is built through consistent daily action. It's about showing up, even when you don't feel like it, and doing the things you know you need to do to move forward. Success is about small, consistent actions that add up over time. It's easy to dismiss the little things, watching one more episode, skipping one workout, or putting off a task for tomorrow. But all of those little things add up. As James Clear, author of Atomic Habits, here says, "You do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems." In other words, if you don't have the right habits in place, you'll never reach the life you dream about, no matter how much you hope for it. Every decision you make, no matter how small, is reinforcing who you are. If you're building the right habits, you're reinforcing your identity as someone who gets things done, someone who takes care of their health, someone who shows up for their family, and someone who doesn't quit when things get tough. This is the path to success, and it's not glamorous or dramatic. It's built one step at a time, day by day, choice by choice. It's not about waiting for motivation to strike. It's about creating systems and habits that make success inevitable. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic emperor, reminds us that the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. And it's not just your thoughts that matter. It's your daily actions that are a reflection of those thoughts. If you want to be a successful person, you must act like one. If you want to be healthier, act like a healthy person. If you want to be a writer, start writing. Your actions create your identity, and your identity determines your future. What are your habits telling you about who you are? Are they aligning with the person you want to become? If not, then it's time to make some changes. Start small, but start today. If you want to be a person who is fit, you need to build the habit of exercising regularly. If you want to be a person who is productive, you need to build the habit of prioritizing your tasks and staying focused. If you want to be a person who is financially independent, you need to build the habit of saving and investing consistently. The good news is that you don't need to make drastic changes all at once. Just start with the small things, the daily habits that, over time, will compound into something much greater. Small improvements, small disciplines, and small steps forward are the keys to long-term success. As the Stoic philosopher Seneca said, "Luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity." So, start preparing today by building the habits that will create the opportunities you're waiting for. It's also important to remember that success doesn't happen by accident. There's no magic formula, no secret trick that will change your life overnight. What happens is a result of consistent action, which comes from strong, positive habits. The key to creating lasting change in your life is to stop relying on motivation or willpower and start focusing on creating a structure that makes the right actions automatic. This is where true success lies. It's not about one big decision or one massive leap. It's about the thousands of small, seemingly insignificant decisions you make each day. It's about being consistent, no matter how you feel. It's about showing up even when the going gets tough. and continuing to push forward when it seems like the results aren't coming fast enough. If you're consistent, the results will come. The key to being consistent is understanding that habits shape your future, one small action at a time. So what habits are you building today? Are they getting you closer to the person you want to become, or are they holding you back? Take responsibility for your habits, because they are a direct reflection of your identity, and ultimately they will determine the direction of your life. You cannot separate who you are from what you do. Your habits are shaping your identity, and your identity shapes your future. So, take a hard look at your habits and ask yourself if they are helping you become the person you want to be. If not, it's time to make a change. Start building the habits of a winner, and watch how your life begins to transform. If you are disciplined in your actions and consistent in your habits, you will achieve the success you desire. It won't happen overnight, but if you stay committed to building the right habits, one day, you will wake up and realize that you've become the person you always wanted to be. Success is built one habit at a time. Make sure the habits you're building today are getting you closer to the life you want to live. Your future is in your hands, and it all starts with the small actions you take today. You've taken the first step toward consistency and success. Leave a comment with "I'm committed" to show that you're ready to build momentum in your own life. Don't stop now. The real transformation is just beginning. 5. Small steps lead to big results. Here's the truth, one that many people overlook. Your dreams won't be achieved in one giant leap. You may think that success comes from a dramatic moment, a breakthrough, or sudden change, but that's not how life works. Life doesn't reward you with success all at once. It's built through small, consistent actions. We often wait for a big moment, a time when everything will magically fall into place. But let me tell you, that moment doesn't exist. The reality is that if you keep waiting for a perfect opportunity, you'll waste time, energy, and end up feeling frustrated when nothing changes. Instead, the key is to start. Not later, not when things are easier. Start now. It's not about waiting for the right time, because there is no such thing. It's about taking action, even if those actions feel small. In fact, the smaller, the better. You might not see immediate results, but here's the thing. Every small step you take, every little bit of effort you put in, is moving you closer to something bigger. The power doesn't lie in giant leaps. It lies in consistent, daily action. Think about your own life. How many times have you looked at others and thought, "I wish I could be like them. I wish I had that success"? The truth is, they didn't get there with one big, dramatic action. They took small steps. They worked consistently, day by day, and now those small steps have added up to a significant result. It's like learning to walk. You didn't start by sprinting. You took small, wobbly steps, maybe even fell a few times, but over time, those steps became stronger and more confident. And that's how success works. Success doesn't come from one giant leap. It's the result of small, often unnoticed actions taken day after day. Just like walking, success comes from doing the small things over and over, even when it feels like you're not making progress. You may not see the results right away, but consistency compounds, and one day, you'll look back and realize how far you've come. In the modern world, we are bombarded with the idea of overnight success, the flashy stories of people who seemingly made it big with one bold move or a single stroke of luck. But that's not the reality for most of us. Think about the tech industry, for example. Companies like Apple, Microsoft, and Google didn't start with giant leaps. They started with small, consistent actions taken by people who believed in the process. Steve Jobs didn't create Apple with one grand idea. He built it from small steps, small innovations, and a relentless commitment to improvement. He failed many times along the way, but those failures didn't stop him. They fueled him to keep going, one step at a time. Today, Apple is a global leader, but its success is a result of years of small, consistent decisions made by many people, not just one breakthrough moment. The key takeaway here is that no matter what you're striving for, Whether it's health, wealth, personal growth, or even relationships, it's the small steps that lead to the big results. You can't wait for the perfect moment, because that moment will never come. You have to act now, even if your actions feel small, insignificant, or slow. The philosopher Seneca once said, "Luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity." The preparation he's talking about here isn't a one-time thing. It's the small, consistent actions you take every day. When you prepare by consistently doing the right things, no matter how small they seem, you're creating your own luck. And over time, those small actions will bring opportunities that you never expected. The power of consistency can't be overstated. It's what makes the difference between those who succeed and those who remain stuck. In life, what small steps can you start taking today? Maybe it's getting up a little earlier to work on your goals, or taking 10 minutes to read instead of mindlessly scrolling through your phone. Maybe it's finally taking that first step toward your health goals, even if it's just a short walk around the block. Every small step matters. Every choice you make, no matter how tiny it seems, is adding up. It's easy to think that success is something that happens all at once, but it doesn't. Success is built over time, and the more consistent you are, the closer you'll get to your dreams. This isn't about giant leaps. It's about taking small steps, one after another, and building momentum. Start today, no matter how small. Just take that first step, and then keep going. Remember that the journey to success isn't about waiting for some big moment to change your life. It's about making consistent progress. Success doesn't come from one grand act. It's built from the little things you do every single day. It's easy to get discouraged when progress feels slow, but trust me, those small steps are what will get you where you want to go. So stop waiting for the perfect moment. Start now and keep going. Over time, you'll look back and see how far you've come, and you'll realize that those small steps led you to the big results you've been dreaming of. 6. Failure is part of the journey. Let's talk about something that might be hard to hear but is essential for your growth. Failure is not your enemy. It's your best friend. Yes, you heard that right. Without failure, you wouldn't have a story to tell. So many people are terrified of failure. They want to play it safe, avoid the discomfort, and stay in their comfort zones. But by doing so, they rob themselves of the chance to truly grow. Life doesn't reward those who avoid failure. It rewards those who face it, learn from it, and keep moving forward. Do you want to play it safe? That's fine. But understand this. You will never achieve anything meaningful if you're afraid to fall flat on your face. When you fail, it's not the end. It's simply part of the process. As the Stoic philosopher Seneca wisely said, "It is not because things are difficult that we do not dare. It is because we do not dare that things are difficult." If you don't dare to fail, you'll never dare to succeed. Failure is inevitable. It's a part of the journey. The real question is not whether you will fail, it's how you respond when you do. Every successful person you admire has failed, often more times than you can count. The key is that they didn't give up after they fell. They got back up, learned from their mistakes, and continued moving forward. You see, failure isn't something to fear, it's something to embrace. It's a chance to learn, grow, and become stronger. Just think for a moment about some of the most successful people in history. Thomas Edison failed thousands of times before inventing the light bulb. Michael Jordan missed more than 9,000 shots in his career. Walt Disney was told he lacked imagination and had no good ideas. Yet, each of these men got up after every failure. They didn't let the fear of falling stop them. They understood that failure was not the end of their story, but a part of their success story. So, the next time you fail, and you will fail, don't sit there feeling sorry for yourself. Learn from it, take responsibility for it, and then get back to work. Every failure is just another lesson, another piece of the puzzle, and every time you rise again, you're closer to success. If you choose to run from failure, you're essentially running from success itself. Now let's talk about something else that is crucial for success: accountability. If you want to succeed in life, you have to be ready to hold yourself accountable. No one else is going to do it for you. It's so easy to make excuses, to blame your circumstances, or to think that luck is the reason someone else is ahead. But the truth is, you are the only one responsible for your life. You control your future, and if you're not where you want to be, it's on you. Do you want to succeed? Then you need to take full responsibility for your actions and your decisions. It's that simple. No one is coming to save you. No one is going to drag you out of bed at 5 a.m. to do the work. If you want to achieve anything, you have to commit to it and stick to that commitment, no matter what. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus said, "Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants." This speaks to the power of commitment. When you set your mind on something and stop letting distractions pull you in different directions, you focus your energy on what truly matters. This is how you make progress one step at a time. It's not enough to just say, "I want to achieve this," or "I'm going to do that." You need to follow through. No one can do that for you. No one can force you to work when you don't feel like it, or to stick to your goals when it gets hard. That responsibility is yours alone. But here's the catch. If you don't hold yourself accountable, nothing will change. If you don't show up, if you don't put in the work, then nothing will improve. Your goals will stay just that, goals that never become reality. But when you commit to your goals, when you make a plan and hold yourself to it, something incredible happens. You begin to see results. If you can't trust yourself to follow through, why should anyone else trust you? Success starts with the promise you make to yourself. Your word is all you have, and if you say you're going to do something, then you need to do it. There are no exceptions, no excuses. Think about the times you've let yourself off the hook. Maybe you told yourself you'd start working out, but then you found reasons to skip it. Or perhaps you said you'd work on that personal project, but procrastination crept in. Every time you make an excuse, you're not only breaking your word, you're also holding yourself back from achieving your dreams. If you truly want success, you need to prove to yourself that you can be trusted. You start by holding yourself accountable to the promises you make, and by eliminating excuses. When you commit to something, follow through, day in and day out, even when you don't feel like it. Trust me, their results will come. But they will only come if you hold yourself accountable and stop relying on others to push you forward. Accountability isn't just about checking off tasks on a to-do list. It's about owning every part of your life, your decisions, and your actions. And the moment you take full responsibility for your life, that's the moment everything starts to change. You won't be able to blame anyone else anymore. If you're not where you want to be, you'll recognize that it's because of the choices you've made, or the ones you haven't made. The power is in your hands, and you need to take that responsibility seriously. Remember, no one is coming to save you. If you want something, you need to go get it. Success requires action, and action requires accountability. Failure is not your enemy. It's your teacher. And accountability is the key that unlocks the door to your future. Commit to your success, hold yourself accountable, and never let failure stop you. Embrace the journey because in the end, it's not just the destination that matters. It's the lessons you learn along the way that shape who you become. 7. Belief in the process. Let me tell you something most people overlook, and it's a lesson that can make or break your success. Belief in the process is absolutely crucial. The truth is, most people give up too soon because they expect instant results. They start something, they work for a little while, but when they don't see immediate changes, they quit. This mindset is the reason so many dreams are left unfulfilled. If you want to succeed, you can't go into anything expecting success to come overnight. Success doesn't work that way. If you don't trust the process, the slow, steady effort that builds over time, You'll quit before you even have a chance to see what's possible. And when you quit early, you remain stuck, frustrated, and confused, never getting close to the success you were seeking. As the great Stoic philosopher Epictetus said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." You have to master your mind to stay the course and trust that what you're doing today will pay off tomorrow. You have to have the belief that every small step is laying the groundwork for something bigger, even if you can't see the results right away. This is where patience comes in. Real progress takes time. It's not about the big breakthrough that happens in an instant. It's about the consistent, daily effort that compounds over time. You don't plant a seed and expect it to bear fruit overnight. It takes months, even years of nurturing before you see the harvest. Success is exactly the same. The work you're putting in now might feel insignificant, and some days you might not even notice any progress, but that's where the trust comes in. Trusting that the actions you're taking, even if they seem small or mundane, are contributing to something much larger. If you can't stick with the process long enough to see it through, you'll miss out on the breakthrough that was just around the corner. It's like a marathon runner who gets discouraged after the first mile because they haven't reached the finish line yet. But the key to winning the race is believing that every step brings you closer, even when the finish line is still out of sight. In modern life, we're surrounded by the temptation of quick fixes and shortcuts. Everyone is looking for the easy way to success, the miracle diet, the business hack, the one thing that will make it all happen fast. But that's not how anything worthwhile is built. Think about the most successful people you know. Do you think they just stumbled onto success by accident? Or do you think they've put in years of effort step by step with no expectation of immediate rewards? The truth is, it's the small, boring, often unseen steps that matter most. That's where the magic happens. It's not the flashy moments or the moments of grand achievement that count. It's the quiet work that gets done when no one is watching. We all know the story of how J.K. Rowling struggled for years with rejection before Harry Potter became the global sensation it is today. Her success didn't happen overnight, but her consistent belief in the process kept her moving forward, no matter how many setbacks she faced. She trusted that the process would work if she stuck with it, and it did. This is the kind of mindset you need if you're going to achieve anything significant in your life. It's about understanding that the journey is just as important as the destination. Often we get too caught up in the end result, thinking that only once we reach our goal will we be able to feel satisfied. But when you commit to the long-term process, you begin to realize that the process itself is what shapes you. It's what builds your character, your resilience, and your capacity to handle whatever life throws your way. The great Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius put it perfectly when he said, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." In other words, the challenges and setbacks you encounter are not obstacles to your success. They are part of your success. Every failure, every difficulty, is just another step forward if you choose to learn from it. Too often we judge our progress too quickly. After a few weeks or months of work, we look around and think, "This is taking too long, I should be further ahead." But the truth is, progress doesn't happen on your schedule. It happens on its own timeline, and that's okay. Your job is not to rush the process, but to stick to it, day after day, and trust that everything you're doing is adding up. It might seem slow, but every small effort counts. If you keep showing up, even when the results are hard to see, you'll be amazed at how much you've accomplished in the long run. Sometimes the biggest progress is happening under the surface, where you can't see it yet. It's like a sculptor chipping away at a block of marble. Each chip is a small action that doesn't seem significant on its own, but over time, a masterpiece begins to emerge. If you're frustrated with your current progress, ask yourself, have you been looking for quick results instead of trusting the process? Are you so focused on the outcome that you're missing the value of the journey itself? Real growth comes when you commit to long-term progress. And remember, when you stop chasing instant rewards, you'll realize that the process itself is what leads to lasting success. It's the habit of persistence, the discipline of consistency, that transforms ordinary actions into extraordinary results. So, stop looking for shortcuts and start building your success step by step. Trust the process and believe that every action you take today is moving you closer to the life you want tomorrow. Success is not about waiting for the perfect moment to act. It's about taking action today even when you don't see immediate results. It's about believing that your small steps, your consistent efforts, are leading you somewhere great. Trust the process, believe in yourself, and stay the course because the results will come if you do. Keep going. And one day, you'll look back and realize that all those small daily efforts have added up to something extraordinary. If you want to succeed, you need discipline. You can't wait for motivation to strike. You can't wait for everything to line up perfectly. Success comes when you keep putting in the work, day after day, even when you don't feel like it. The people who win aren't the ones who are always motivated. They're the ones who stay disciplined. And the best part is, discipline is something you can build, one step at a time. It's not a trait you're born with. It's a habit you create. So ask yourself, what habits are you building today? What daily actions are you taking to move closer to your goals? Are you relying on motivation, or are you building the discipline that will carry you through? The choice is yours. If you commit to discipline, if you make it a non-negotiable part of your life, you'll start to see results. And those results will compound over time. You'll look back one day and realize that the work you put in, the small steps you took every day, have led to something incredible. Discipline isn't easy, but it's the only way to make real progress. It's the foundation of success, and it's what will carry you to the finish line. Keep showing up, keep doing the work, stay disciplined, and watch your life change. 8. The role of discipline. Let's have an honest conversation. Discipline is the difference between the dreamers and the doers, between those who talk about their goals and those who actually achieve them. You see, many people think motivation is the key to success. They believe that one day they'll wake up feeling invincible, like they're ready to conquer the world. But here's the hard truth. Motivation doesn't stick around. It's a fleeting feeling, like a gust of wind. It comes and it goes. And on the days when motivation is absent, the people who rely on it will find themselves stuck, unable to move forward. Motivation can kickstart you, but it's discipline that will carry you through, especially on the days you don't feel like doing anything at all. This is where most people falter. They rely on bursts of energy or excitement, thinking that's what will fuel their progress. But here's the kicker. Without discipline, you're just a dreamer, someone who talks big but never follows through. Discipline is the real muscle behind progress. It's the power that keeps you going when you don't feel like it. It's the difference between those who achieve their dreams and those who let them slip away. Let's break this down. Motivation may get you started, but it's discipline that sees you through. It's what keeps you showing up, even when you're not feeling it. It's the habit of doing the work, day in and day out, even when you're tired, even when it's uncomfortable. Think of it like this. Motivation is the spark that starts the fire, but discipline is what keeps it burning. Without discipline, your enthusiasm will fade and your goals will remain nothing more than wishes. You don't need to wait for motivation to strike. What you need is to build a routine, a schedule, and stick to it. You need to create habits that move you closer to your goals, even when the excitement wears off. This is where most people fall short. They expect to feel motivated every day, and when that doesn't happen, they quit. But discipline is what keeps you going on the hard days. It's the consistency that fuels long-term success. Discipline isn't about being perfect. It's not about being the best. It's about being consistent. It's about doing the work, even when you don't want to, even when it's hard, even when it seems pointless. It's about showing up for yourself every day, making small, deliberate choices that compound over time. And here's the thing. You won't see results immediately. The path to success is a slow one. That's why most people give up. They expect instant gratification, but discipline requires patience. The work you put in today might not show up in your life tomorrow, but it will eventually. And when you stay disciplined, when you don't quit, that's when the results come. Think about the most successful people you know. They didn't get there by waiting for motivation to strike. They built their success through discipline, the daily grind that no one sees, the work that continues even when no one is applauding. The person who stays disciplined, even when the results are slow, is the one who will eventually reach their goals. It's the secret weapon that keeps you moving forward when everything else fails. Let's take a moment to reflect. Have you ever quit something because you didn't see immediate results? Did you ever get discouraged because you weren't seeing the payoff right away? This is exactly why so many people fail. They're looking for shortcuts, for instant rewards. But success doesn't work like that. It's the slow, steady process that pays off in the long run. You're not going to see results overnight. And the people who fail to build discipline are the ones who give up just before the breakthrough happens. It's like a runner who stops mid-race because they can't see the finish line. If you're truly committed to your goals, you can't let short-term setbacks dictate your future. Success requires showing up, day after day, even when it feels like you're not getting anywhere. The discipline to keep going when the going gets tough is what sets winners apart from losers. 9. Momentum and persistence. Let's face a hard truth together. Success is not handed to anyone on a silver platter. There's no magic moment, no grand event that will suddenly push you toward your goals. If you're waiting for that, you're wasting your time. The path to real success requires persistence, patience, and consistent effort. In fact, most people quit before they ever experience the rewards of their hard work. They stop just when they're about to break through. Does that sound familiar? Have you ever been so close to a goal, only to back away because you couldn't see the results immediately? That's where many fail. The key to success isn't raw talent, it's momentum. Momentum is what keeps you going even when you feel like you're not getting anywhere. It's the force that pushes you forward day after day, even when the results aren't immediately visible. And that's the truth we need to understand. You won't always see the fruit of your labor right away. But keep going, because momentum is what turns small actions into big results. You see, momentum isn't a one-time thing. It's a cumulative force that grows with every step you take, no matter how small. Think of it like a snowball rolling down a hill. At first, it's slow, and you might even feel like you're not making any progress. It can be discouraging when you put in so much effort and don't see any significant change. But here's the thing. Every little effort, every small action is adding to the momentum that will carry you forward. You're laying the foundation for something bigger, and once you've built up enough momentum, it becomes easier to keep going. Suddenly, the task that seemed impossible is now manageable. But if you stop before that momentum has had a chance to build, you'll find yourself right back at square one. All those small efforts you made will seem like they were for nothing. So the key is to stick with it long enough for that momentum to take hold. Don't stop just because the progress is slow at first. And that's where persistence comes into play. Persistence is what keeps you going when the road gets tough, when it feels like you're not making any progress. It's the thing that pushes you through when everyone else has given up. And most people do give up. They quit when they hit the resistance. They stop just when the results start to show up. But let me tell you something. Every time you push through that resistance, every time you don't give up, you get stronger. You build resilience, and you build momentum. This momentum becomes your driving force. In life, we all face setbacks and challenges, but persistence is what turns those challenges into stepping stones. Every time you keep going, even when it feels difficult, you're creating the momentum that will eventually lead to success. Have you ever heard the saying, "The darkest hour is just before the dawn"? That's exactly what persistence feels like. When you feel like quitting, when the road seems endless, know that you're just a little closer to the breakthrough. Don't give up, not now, not when you're so close. Persistence is the key that unlocks the door to success. Every day you show up, you're putting in the work, building that momentum. And eventually you'll reach a point where you can't stop. The momentum will be so strong that it will carry you forward, and you'll feel unstoppable. But remember, this doesn't happen overnight. It takes time, effort, and, above all, persistence. Success is a long game. So what does persistence look like in your life? Are you sticking with your goals even when the progress seems slow? Are you pushing through the tough moments knowing that each small effort is building toward something greater? It's easy to get discouraged when things aren't moving fast enough. But that's when you need to push harder, not quit. Think about the most successful people in the world. They didn't get there by giving up when things got tough. They got there by building momentum and refusing to stop. I want to share a story that might hit close to home. Take Thomas Edison, for instance. He didn't invent the light bulb in one shot. He failed over 1,000 times before he succeeded. Can you imagine how many people would have given up by then? Most would have quit after the first 100 attempts, or maybe the 5th, but Edison didn't. He kept going. And eventually, his persistence paid off. He wasn't the most talented inventor, nor did he have some magical moment of inspiration. What he had was momentum and persistence. He kept showing up, trying new ideas, making small improvements, and eventually, he succeeded. That's the power of persistence. And the best part is, you have that same power. It's available to you right now. You just need to keep going even when the road feels long. Here's something to think about. How many times have you been tempted to quit on something that was just starting to show signs of success? How often do you back away right when things are getting tough? The challenge is to not stop, to keep moving forward when you can't see the results. Because trust me, the results are coming. You just have to stick with it long enough for the momentum to build. Momentum is your ally, but only if you allow it to grow. Keep pushing through the resistance even when it feels like nothing is happening. Keep doing the small tasks, the ones that seem insignificant. And one day, when you look back, you'll see how far you've come, how much momentum you've built, and how unstoppable you've become. The secret to success is simple. Keep moving, keep pushing, and never give up. So let me ask you, what's holding you back right now? Are you stuck in that phase where you're not seeing enough progress to feel motivated? That's when you need to remind yourself that momentum is built in the quiet, unseen work. Are you willing to keep going, even when you don't see immediate results? The real question is, can you be patient enough to let your momentum grow? If you can answer yes to that, then you're on your way to something great. Keep moving, keep grinding, and remember, persistence and momentum are your greatest allies on the road to success. Congratulations on making it this far. If you're ready to unlock your full potential, type "I will stay consistent" below to declare your commitment. Keep watching. The journey toward your best self is about to get even more powerful. 10. Building success through consistency. Success isn't reserved for the lucky or the incredibly talented. The true measure of success lies in the ability to keep going when others stop. It's about persistence, about showing up each day, even when the energy feels low and the results aren't immediately visible. The secret to building momentum and ultimately success is in the consistency of your efforts. Every day you commit to taking action, even in the face of challenges, you are building the foundation for something greater. It's like a small snowball that, over time, turns into an unstoppable force. You don't need to wait for the perfect moment, nor do you need to feel motivated every single day. Real success comes when you commit to showing up, regardless of how you feel. Remember the words of the Stoic philosopher Epictetus, who said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." Success is born from self-mastery, from your ability to discipline yourself to take consistent action, even when motivation fades. You can't wait for some grand inspiration to hit or for the perfect conditions to align. those moments will rarely come. Success is the sum of the small, sometimes mundane, actions you take daily. When you understand this, you start to see that the key to achieving anything significant in life isn't about taking giant leaps or waiting for the right opportunity. It's about creating a habit of consistency. Building success through consistency means committing to the process, regardless of whether it feels exciting or easy. We often get discouraged because the progress we make feels too slow or the results seem too distant. But every day you show up, you're moving forward. Every small task completed is another building block in the structure of your success. If you could see these small actions accumulating, you'd realize that each one is like an investment in your future. The journey to success isn't a sprint, it's a marathon. You don't have to feel inspired every morning, nor do you need a flood of energy to push through the day. What matters most is that you continue, even when it feels tough, even when it seems like nothing is changing. You don't stop because it's hard, you don't stop because it's uncomfortable, and you don't stop because you can't see immediate results. When you stay the course, when you commit to showing up even on the difficult days, you're setting the stage for a transformation that can far exceed your expectations. Think of it this way. Success doesn't happen overnight. It's the result of 1,000 small, seemingly insignificant actions. These are the things that most people overlook, the things that often don't feel rewarding at the moment. But as you continue to show up, you'll start to notice a shift. Your momentum will start to build, and then you'll look back and realize how much progress you've made. What began as small, everyday efforts will have turned into something much greater. Too many people fail because they misunderstand the role of consistency. They think success will come from one big breakthrough, one moment of inspiration, or one massive change in their circumstances. But real success is much more subtle. It's a result of the constant, everyday commitment to doing what needs to be done. Whether it's going to the gym when you don't feel like it, putting in the hours at work even when the tasks seem repetitive, or investing in relationships when it's easier to distance yourself, these are the daily decisions that build the life you want. When you make consistency your non-negotiable, when you commit to showing up every day no matter how you feel, that's when you begin to see the results others only dream of. Think about it. How many times have you felt discouraged when you didn't see instant results? But now think about the times you've stuck with something, even when it was hard, and in the end, it paid off. Success is about building a rhythm, a routine, a pattern of action that supports your growth. In the words of the Stoic philosopher Seneca, it is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it. You have the time, and now you have the knowledge that the key to using it effectively lies in the daily commitment to your goals. Consistency is the vehicle that takes you from where you are now to where you want to be. This doesn't mean there won't be challenges. Far from it, life will always throw obstacles your way. The key to building long-term success is the ability to keep going, even when you hit roadblocks. It's easy to get caught up in the idea that we need to see immediate rewards to feel like we're progressing. But success, true success, is built in the unseen moments, the moments when no one is watching, when the effort seems unnoticed. It's about how many times you show up, even when the world isn't cheering you on, and it's about putting in the work when others are resting. The bottom line is that when you decide to make consistency a part of your life, you are deciding to make your success inevitable. It may take time, but over time, the results will come. If you can stay committed to the process, if you can show up each day and do the work, you'll start to see the momentum building. So stop waiting for motivation to strike. It's not about how fast you reach your destination. It's about showing up every single day, continuing to put in the work, and trusting that consistency will get you where you want to go. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't isn't talent or circumstances. It's the ability to keep going. It's the ability to commit to consistent small actions that lead to big results. Every day is an opportunity to move closer to your goal, and when you make consistency your priority, when you commit to showing up regardless of how you feel, you'll start to see the results flow in slowly at first, but with unstoppable force. Thank you all for taking the time to listen and join me on this journey. I hope the insights shared today have brought you value and inspiration to keep moving forward on your own path. Remember, success doesn't come from big leaps, but from the consistent and steady effort we put in each day. I truly appreciate your support and companionship, and I look forward to continuing this journey of learning and growth together. Wishing you strength and resilience as you work toward your goals. See you in the next one.